In the olden days, when wishing still helped, there lived a princess who had everything a heart could desire, a solid gold ball, and went to play in the cool, dark forest near the castle, tossing the ball high into the air and catching it. This game went on for a while. She reached for it, but her fingers missed. The princess ran to the edge and peered in, but the water was so deep and murky, the ball was gone from sight. She started to cry, her sobs echoing in the quiet forest. "I'd give anything to have it back. I'd give away all my fine clothes, my precious jewels, even my golden crown." As her tears fell, a tiny voice spoke from the water's edge. "Princess, why are you crying so bitterly?" She looked down and saw a frog, its green head poking out of the water, its big eyes blinking at her. "Oh, it's you," she said, wiping her eyes. "How can you possibly help me?" "You're just a silly frog. My golden ball has fallen into the well." The frog replied in its croaky voice, "I don't want your pearls, your jewels, or your golden crown. But if you will love me and let me be your companion and playfellow, if I can sit by you at your little table, eat from your little golden plate, drink out of your little cup, and sleep in your little bed, if you promise me this, I will dive down and bring your golden ball back to you." The princess thought, "What nonsense this silly frog talks. He has to stay in the water with his own kind. But maybe he really can get my ball." So she said aloud, "Oh, yes. I promise you all of that. Just bring me my ball." The moment the words left her mouth, the frog dipped his head, dove deep into the well, and a minute later reappeared with the golden ball in his mouth. He tossed it onto the grass. The princess was overjoyed. She snatched up her precious toy without a second thought. "Wait," croaked the frog. "Take me with you. I can't run as fast as you can." But the princess didn't listen. She raced back to the castle, completely forgetting about the little frog and the promise she had made. The very next day, the princess was sitting at the royal dinner table with her father, the king. As she was eating from her golden plate, she heard a strange sound. Flip-flap, flip-flap, something was coming up the marble staircase. Soon, there was a gentle knock at the door, and a tiny voice called out, "Youngest daughter of the king, open the door for me." The princess, curious, went to see who it was. But when she opened the heavy door and saw the little green frog sitting there, she slammed it shut in a panic and rushed back to her seat, her heart pounding. The king saw how pale she was. "My child, what's the matter?" he asked. "Is there a giant at the door who wants to carry you away?" "Oh, no, father," she said, trembling. "It's not a giant, but a dreadful frog." She quickly explained what had happened at the well the day before. Just then, there was another knock, and the frog's voice cried out again, "Youngest daughter of the king, open the door for me." "Do you not remember your promise by the cool well water? Youngest daughter of the king, open the door for me." The king looked at his daughter with a stern expression. "What you have promised, you must keep," he said firmly. "Go and let him in." With a heavy heart, the princess opened the door. The frog hopped in and followed her right to her chair. She hesitated, but the king gave her a look, so she carefully lifted the frog and placed him on the chair next to her. Once he was settled, the frog wasn't satisfied. "Now push your little golden plate nearer so that we can eat together," he said. She did as he asked, but it was clear to everyone that she did so unwillingly. The frog seemed to enjoy his meal very much, but every bite the princess tried to take stuck in her throat. When he had eaten his fill, the frog said, "I am tired. Carry me to your room, make your little bed, and we will lie down to sleep." At this, the princess began to cry again. The idea of this cold, clammy frog in her clean, beautiful bed was horrifying. She was scared to even touch him. But her father, the king, grew angry. He helped you when you were in trouble, he declared. Filled with frustration and disgust, the princess picked up the frog with 2 fingers, carried him upstairs to her bedroom, and walked over to the corner. But instead of putting him gently into her bed, her anger boiled over. "Now you'll have your rest, you nasty frog!" she shouted and threw him with all her might against the wall. But as he hit the stone, a strange thing happened. He didn't fall to the floor as a frog. Instead, standing before her was a handsome prince with kind and beautiful eyes, replaced by surprise and a feeling she had never known before. He told her his story. He had been cursed by a wicked witch and turned into a frog, and only a princess's promise and her final act of defiance could break the spell. They talked all through the night, and as the morning sun rose, they fell asleep peacefully. A magnificent carriage drawn by 8 white horses with white ostrich feathers on their heads and golden harnesses was pulling up to the castle. Behind the carriage stood a man named Faithful Henry, the prince's loyal servant. Henry had been so heartbroken when his master was turned into a frog that he had 3 iron bands forged around his heart to keep it from breaking with grief. The carriage was there to take the prince back to his own kingdom, with his new bride, the princess. As they set off on their journey, the prince suddenly heard a loud crack from behind them. "Henry, the carriage is breaking," he shouted. "No, master, it is not the carriage," Henry replied. "It is one of the bands from my heart, which was bound in sorrow when you were a frog in the well." Twice more on their journey, the prince heard the same loud crack, and each time Faithful Henry explained that another iron band had broken from his heart, finally setting it free to celebrate his master's return to happiness. And so the prince, the princess, and Faithful Henry rode on towards their new life, full of joy and promise.